I find if you're going to be a superhero, I think kindness is the biggest power you could ever have. Compassion, selflessness. It all stems from love. Not love of others necessarily, even. Just love of life. The chance at life, you know? I think kindness is one of the most wonderful things in the world. You know why? Because it goes against every nature of our being to be kind. To want to be kind, even. And yet somehow it's ingrained in us. And I'm starting to understand why. Because without it, we would be a weaker species. Without kindness, I don't think we would have lasted as long as we have. There's signs that humans back, 100,000 years ago or something like that, whatever, 50,000 years ago, were burying their dead and also caring for them, not just leaving them behind, if they got injured. But I think love was a necessity because it was a survival instinct. And of course, over time, love, fear, all these things turn into different things for survival reasons. Where once fear was just to keep us awake and on our toes because predators were the size of Volkswagens, like chickens. But love became love. And it's different for every person. For some people, there's a self preservation where they love themselves too much to give their life over to somebody or something else, which I totally get. If you're in love with yourself in that way. But it comes in many forms. But I think it always starts from the inside as an instinct. It's an instinct to want to love, I think, and be loved, be cared for. At least I still hope it is. And it's something that we all deserve, even the most ornery among us, who would rather hurt than help, who would rather take away than add, who'd rather divide than multiply, who would rather blow leaves than vacuum the floor. I just think humans are amazing because they have both and all of that inside of them at all times. And we're still expected to make life-changing decisions on the moment as if we've been here for millions of years. But in a way we have, because of our instincts. We are the people that drew on those cave walls, that evolved over time. Even if you don't believe in evolution, humans evolve in other ways. Like a book being written and rewritten over the course of 2,000 years until it resembles nothing like what it used to. Maybe we don't resemble those people. Maybe those books don't either, but their message is still in there, and just like our DNA is still in us. You look at a chihuahua, and you're like, whatever, pathetic little thing. Kick it out of the way as it's barking at you, whatever. That chihuahua has the same exact DNA as a wolf. One of those big ass wolves. Same DNA. That's us, my friends. We are those barking little yippity yuya data chihuahuas. Just looking for a person to kick them. I pay extra for that. I pay over 12% for that. So I don't know. I have to go here pretty soon, but I was just wanting to stop by again really quick and just say that however you feel today about whatever, just know that it'll be okay, first of all. You deserve happiness. You also deserve better. From both parties, or whatever you do. We deserve better. We've been promised the world for decades. Our parents were promised the world. And now we watch it being taken away from us all the time, and I think our focus is just on the wrong places. It's not like one person created all the mess that we're in, but people act like it, and it's almost insulting. The way when we know these things, like we know that there's people behind the scenes doing things, and very, very, very intelligent, very smart people still act as if one man has control of the entire planet at his finger, and it's just not that way. And yeah, sure, people are gonna follow him and whatever, and be snots and stuff like that. But there's still, you know, checks and balances, and all the people that you're, all the stuff that you're blaming Mr. Trump for, and all the things he's accused of and that he has done and he went to jail for, not jail, but you know what I mean, he would go to prison for, or whatever, are the same shit that they all do. He just happens to brag about it, and they don't. They try to keep it under wraps. And to be honest, I think that was the main reasons why they didn't want him back, because he just gave all their secrets away. And he's dangerous in that way to them. Now, if he were if he were himself, but he weren't giving all their secrets away, I think that they would love him, just like the media loves him, because they would just be able to get richer and richer and richer. I mean, I think, what was it, Nancy Pelosi got filthy rich in office. And then but as she's denying healthcare to everybody under the sun, promising the world but never delivering anything, ever, the Democrats. But handing Trump over to us, what, almost 3 times, but definitely twice now. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't vote for war parties. I don't vote for monsters. That's me, in a nutshell. Take it or leave it. And time has already proven people like me correct. It's a definition of insanity. I'll tell you what, it's pushing that stupid boulder uphill. I'm gonna come back down every time. There's such a thing as learning your lesson. Besides, we live in an oligarchy. We don't live in a democracy. Vote local. Eat local. Buy local. Eat local tourists. But just don't blow smoke up my ass and call it a Sunday. I don't like Sundays. Unless the banana is cut in half and it's semi-ripe. Okay, yeah, I wasn't trying to get into a big old topic about evolution. I was actually being very respectful to people who believe it. And not you are too. I don't think you're being disrespectful or anything. But I wasn't trying to start a conversation. That wasn't my point. I think you understand. But that's a good point, in that you can believe whatever you want. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, get off my lawn. You can believe whatever you want, and you can say exactly what you just said, and you're totally being respectful to me, and that's totally fine. It's when you cross the line and say, no, you're wrong because of this and this and this. Like, you're very thoughtful in your approach. And that's what I respect. I think people can disagree on things like evolution or certain things, obviously. Like, I'm not going to agree with people who are like, my skin's better than other people's skin. my skin's lighter than other people's skin, so I'm definitely better. No, I'm not going to agree with you there. And I will fight you viciously to the end, my friend. But if we can talk about religion, politics, and this sort of stuff in a respectful, calm manner, I'm totally down. Because I know what it's like to be in a family that's a mix of all sorts of people. And we all love each other very much. I mean, for all intents and purposes, my dad and I should be like, uh, there should be a moat between us, essentially. You know what I mean? Like metaphorically. And we should be at either end with a gun and shit. That's what the Fox Media and all this bullshit on MSNBC tries to tell you. Oh my God, watch out for your own daddy. Oh my gosh, my dad loves my ass. I love his ass. He's an ex-cop. He's a cowboy. I mean, he's a born-again Christian that watches nothing but Fox News, and I wear a dress, and he loves my ass, and I would die for him. So, anybody's welcome here. The machine god has already risen, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about. The cyborgs are here. You can see them walking around all the time. I don't know if you've ever spent any time in the big city. Everybody's a cyborg now. We're all cyborgs. But you, my friend, you're a god as well. Don't sell yourself short. Don't worship anything. If anything, yeah, worship yourself and you will find God. Because it's inside of you. It's not out there. Robotic demons from the future. That's like my dreams, man. I didn't do the review. You said something naughty that you shouldn't have said, so that YouTube did that. Well, I have read the Satanic Bible. Have you? There's nothing satanic about what I said, to be honest. I read the Christian Bible in 3 months, and then the next day I read the Satanic Bible within 3 days. That doesn't make sense. Within the next 3 days, I read the Satanic Bible, and the Christian Bible made me not a Christian anymore, and the Satanic Bible was just like, what? That's not at all what I was told Satan or the Satanists were doing. It's all be yourself. Don't let anybody push you around. And people are like, that's the devil. They don't sacrifice people. They're actually against hurting anything. But then you read the Christian Bible, and it's a little bit different. The Lord works mysterious ways, right? As long as it's working for me, I believe in it. As long as I'm on the winning team, I believe. I believe hard, and you will too. Now just pay me, or my donors will get you. I'm just playing. Do you know much about Satan, my friend? Do you know anything about lies? Have you ever read the book of Job? And you realize that God created Satan? According to the books. Exactly, which are just fantasies. Rewritten and evolved over time. It's the funniest thing, how the book has been rewritten over generations in different languages. And then they even find other scrolls, and I'm sure there's others out there, and then they take some out that would contradict everything. They take those out and put them away, and people still have the nerve to kind of like push that shit in your face and call it the truth. When, again, I think that's a very personal thing for everybody. You know, you can come here and talk about that stuff, but it's the second you start saying, well, you do know this and this and this, and I'm like, you do know that you don't know anything, right? There's a song about it from Operation Ivy. Check it out sometime. So I don't claim to know anything. All I know is that I don't know nothing. And all I know is what I read. And there is a Christian God, or I don't even know if it is the Christian God that everybody talks about. All I know is that there's a God in the beginning of that old book. And he kills people over and over and over, including little babies. Nobody ever talks about that, but then they get all they get all terrified when women have the right over their own bodies, as they themselves get people pregnant and have to pay for their fucking abortions. Like the cowards they are, like the hypocrites they are. Well, there's good people too out there. Well, yeah, exactly. So you should take that notion, turn it on its head, and be like, yeah, so there's people that don't believe in God. Maybe they even consider themselves atheists, and they're good people too. Just like how you say that, well, I think all religion has been hijacked by extremists. If there was a message, it's been lost long ago. When you start plating churches with gold while people are out in the streets starving, there ain't no God in that, my friends. You can pray all you want, you can get mad at me all you want, but I'm just the messenger. And if you don't think that Old Testament God is evil, then you should reread that book and prove me wrong. But I don't think you need to. Because I don't think that's what's important. I think learning how to breathe is important. Trying to find common ground. Not some hypothetical future waiting for some God to come back and save us all. Meanwhile, we just destroy each other over nothing, over scraps. Led by monsters. In a world where people laugh at you, mock you if you have a truth to you, or say what's the enemy. That's what they've done to us all. It's just kind of sad to me. And I refuse to look at people like that, like they're my enemy. I do it a lot, but I snap out of it the second I do it, and I realize like that even that person right there who looks like he would want to knock my fucking block off, and for all I know he would, I'm not gonna do that to that person, because that's like doing it to myself. It's all everybody, all of you, everything around you, everything is a reflection. We're just reflections of we bounce off each other, whether we know it or not. Like pinball. We're all connected, and I think that it just starts with finding that common ground. I get pretty heated up around religion and stuff like that, only because I was raised by religious people who are absolute hypocrites. And when I read the Bible for myself, I was kind of upset because it's like nobody had told me anything about all the stuff that I read. My dad literally said once, because I came to him after my girlfriend broke up with me and I was all upset. And he said, read the Bible, son, read the Bible. Just don't read the Old Testament. Start with the New Testament. Start there. And I was just like, what? If you believe in the Bible, why would you tell me to do that? You know, if you believe in everything in that book, if that's the word of God, why would you say that? And that just got me to thinking about it. And so like when I finally did read the Bible, I started with page 1. And boy, howdy, I understand now why he didn't fucking want me to know. But I'm still willing to give people a chance to like talk about it without being condescending or talking down. Because I say, if you're going to be religious and you think that it's about peace, love, and loving your neighbor and all that stuff, then you got to prove it. And you got to lead by example. You don't come to somebody's chat or show up on somebody's front porch as they accuse like there's the gay agenda of doing. Showing up on my front porch telling me I'm going to hell if I don't believe in this little book that they're handing me. I was like, that ain't no way to win anybody over. Especially when you already know what hell looks like. I think it's rather insulting. Now, if I seen those same people in a certain part of town, talking with people less fortunate with them, or with a different color skin, I might think differently. And I've seen people like that, and those are the people I treat differently too, with much more respect. Sometimes you can just tell what's going on. Anywho, yeah. I'm getting into dangerous territory here. In technology, exactly. That's the thing too, man. People are rooting on technology, like this whole, like the robot dogs and stuff like that. Just like they, just like they were like thinking, oh man, these like new, like self checkout things are gonna make things so much easier, and for most of the part they do. It's gonna free up people, and new technologies are gonna make people not have to work more, and this and this. And meanwhile, has it? Are people working less now for better pay? Or are they working more jobs for less pay? It's disintegrating before our eyes as they tell us it's the soup of the day. And we cheer it on. Like good little Black Friday slaves we are. If you need to understand the sickness that lies in this country, I think that movie The Purge is based on Black Friday. Like, I don't know if that's like, is there a Black Friday in other countries like that? I don't know. I think a lot of people consider themselves atheists, but don't know exactly what that means. I think a lot of people just jump on the bandwagon no matter what, just as long as the word looks cool. People don't take time to look into themselves because it's scary. They don't want to change. And I guarantee you there's Christians that have questions that can't come out and ask those questions. I remember asking a question of my dad when I was like 16, and he said, "You believe, boy. You best motherfucking believe, you motherfucker." And just started reaming me for daring to ask a question about God. Coming from that never went to church. He became a born again around the year 2000. So I think everybody has their own path, you know? Even atheists. I used to think I was an atheist. Actually, for a long time. But there was always just something else going on. But that's the thing too that kind of sucks, because even when you tell some Christians that, and I'm being respectful, I'm not trying to pick on anybody here. But you know, I've, certain types of Christians, you know, will come to your door and you're like, well, actually, I do believe, and they're like, well, you, but do you? You know, they'll like condescend you, and you're like, what do you mean? It's a very personal question you're asking me, and I just told you that I believe. So what else do you want from me? It's like they have to like rub it in or something like that, and I'm like, I probably know more about the Bible than you do. Like there's this one person who came on here, and his last name was L, and I kept calling him Angel, and he's like, "Why are you calling me Angel? Because your name, dude." And he's like, "Why my name?" And I'm, "Do you know what L means? Like, in the Bible, like it." Then I told him like, why, if I were in like a riddle, like why would you, um, something about slippers, like, why would you make extra wide slippers for an angel or something like that? And it's because all angels have six toes on each foot, six fingers on each hand. It's just it's there's also stuff that's not, that people think is in the Bible, that's not in the Bible. You know, like I don't know if that's in the Bible what I just told you, but it's a known thing in other angelology like circles and stuff like that, and books that were left out of the Bible, like the Book of Mary, many others, and they still could find more. It's like that's the crazy thing. Instead, people are just still like so like dead set on what this is, instead of understanding that your beliefs are going to change over time. The more your heart grows, the more open it becomes to other people and other beliefs, and you don't have to settle for like this rigid way of thinking anymore. Not to say your belief or you are rigid. I'm not trying to insult the individual. I'm just saying that religions can be quite restrictive. But meanwhile, the people who preach the stuff are the most guilty of them all. So that's why, if anything, if you're going to be in these religions, or if you're going to follow whatever, if you believe, and not that you already don't, but I'm just saying, like, Definitely don't do it because somebody else tells you to do it, or because you think that it's the right thing to do because some other group, or you'll be ostracized or be welcomed into this one group. Or no, no, it's a very personal journey that everybody I think should walk, and I don't think it's anything to ridicule anybody over or to push on people. I say, hey, if somebody were to like come up to me and ask me if I believed in God, I would say yes, and they'd be like, I would expect them to be like, cool, all right. I wouldn't expect them to be like, yeah, but which one, huh? Yeah, well, my God's better. It's like, no, it's like, cool, and then we can have a conversation about whatever from there. But that's where I think the conversation, that's how easily it could, I don't know, I'm sorry. It's not as easy as say in other countries, maybe in war-torn countries that where it's very religious, like almost like holy wars and shit, you know. I'm ignoring all that. There's all this other end of it. Like I have first world problems. I'm talking about first world religions for crying out loud. These Sunday people that get to go up and get all dolled up and go to church and sing in their little things and little prayers and just was going on, hallelujah, hallelujah, going home, gonna eat some pancakes and some burgers with my family and watch some football, football, watch some news. But no, in other countries, they're literally fighting over religion and dying and bombing, and our bombs are bombing on them, and their bombs are bombing on them. Yay! It's a whole different ball game, religion to them over there. Whole different ball game if you go back 2,000 years to what you're reading today. Whole different thing. You probably would be put on a fucking stick if you went back 2,000 years saying the stuff you're telling me today. So it's just, I'm not like, it's just, I don't know where that came from. But anyways, I gotta go to work. Oh, as this dark music comes on. Did you know, in a world where people make fun of each other on the internet, one man, well, he was drawing and talking to people on the internet. Don't forget to tell them that I love them. He loves you. He loves you all very much. I don't care where you're from, who you are, what God you follow, what color your skin is, what your sexuality is. I don't care if you're upside down, if you're inside out, if you're right side up. I don't care if you're left behind, left for dead, if you're unwound, if you didn't rewind the goddamn tape. I believe in you. And I believe in the power of love. And I think if I can, then anybody can. So, on that note, everybody go out there and spread some joy today. And don't be proud, don't be scared, don't be angry. Open the door for somebody, you know? Smile at somebody. Life is very, very short. And don't let people change who you are. Please. Are you talking like you're talking about the Zodiac now? That's what he thought. He thought the more souls he collected, the better. Abilities? I think we all have demonic abilities. I mean, by the definition. Now, if you're talking specifics, like ESP, levitation, talking in a really gravelly, cool voice, yes, absolutely. I'm here for you if you ever want to learn. My number is 1-900-555-5555. Extension 666. That should be easy to remember. All right, Joel. I'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good day, okay? Zach, you have a good day too. In the shadow of God, have a good one. And you take care of yourself, all right? And all my other friends across this great country, across this great planet, across this crazy solar system and universe. Go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. Have a wonderful day. You're all beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you different, okay?